know, morning conformity on this. I'm trying not to sound like a broken record. I'm trying to keep more to the bright side of things. And, you know, keeping it real as always. Sitting here on my first cup of coffee that I've actually been able to make instant at least. They're already housebroken and they're already litter trained. And she's doing like the last rounds of feeding. It's like maybe 1 or 2 a day now. That's about it. I would say by their size and comprehension levels, they should be ready to go to homes like literally this week or next week. Literally. And I've already been trying to find buyers. I don't want them to just go free to get homes at this point. And it ain't about the money either. It ain't about making money on them. That bill of sale effectively is almost an insurance that think of it this way. If it costs me $20 a week per cat, although I can drop that down to about 10 to 15, if still get some really good cat food and the clay-based litter. So if I'm only asking 20, when I usually give them litter and food with the cat or the kitten at that point, it sounds pretty fair if you think about it. It also proves to me you can take care of the thing. Like if I don't see a $20 bill, I'm not gonna believe you can take care of my cats. These are my grandkids. Even though I'm not keeping them and they're going to good homes, that can be a very tough sale at that point. That's like you can only do an FBI clearance check for my background, and you have to run my passport numbers just to get an apartment. Then of course I got a middleman. So good morning, conformity. When you're out here like this, that's why I always said, when you know how to survive without people, people are really the only threat to your survival. And then what, personally, and I'm not the only one, but, I've ran into members of the church, several different churches. I've ran into, the random people on the street, like I said, trying to sell the kittens and all that. And you can imagine pushing a cart with kittens in emergency pods is normally how I put it. I don't call it a crate. I even call it their own room. Own your little house. That's a positive thing, So in other words, they're crate trained too. You won't ever have to worry about fighting tooth and nail to put them in the crate. Members of the church, as I was saying, would be like, oh, why do you want to go out in the middle of nowhere when there's people here that love you? I'm like, that love ain't gonna save my life, honey. I'm sorry. Love ain't gonna save my life. Jesus ain't gonna fucking save my life. Belief ain't gonna save my fucking life. A gun will. Heavy fucking ammunition. Give me a flare gun then. That kind of shit. I'm not a violent kind of guy, but when violence has come for the third time threat in my life, and then try to tell someone who doesn't have a clue what happened, now you can see why I call it conformity. Good morning, conformity. You run it, like I said, with the kittens in a box like that. I ran into people that think that's awesome. Then I've got food, water, they're in beautiful health, well fed. Unless, they did have a rough night for their first night, so that was quite the little mess I had to clean up. Quite embarrassing as well. Because then that's right when, why do they stink? I was assaulted and we had to emergency evac from where I was, and I had permission to be there, and these kids attacked us. is a mouthful to most people out here. So I've found. It's like you can't count past the first thing I said, and then of course there's gonna be miscommunications. Because I'm not from here. At all. I've just been here. For way too long. Just to take care of official government business, people. Walk around with a stack of government documents that say, California, shut the fuck up. Michigan, shut the fuck up. Or you're losing your jobs. And it's still not enough. And like I said, run into people that are saying that the paperwork is fake. Sorry to be talking so fast, but I am on limited battery. And my solar panel did not make it through the attack. I got one fracture across it. Still worked for a second, then it started. And I'm like, mercy killed. There's no way to fix a solar panel like that. Once it starts zapping like that. Once you crack that damn whatever the cells, the solar cells on it, it's done. That's worse than a shattered screen on a tablet or cell phone at that point. At least it still works. You do that to a solar panel? No. Well, not to mention I'm out in this area because, yes, my friend is still missing, and I could have sworn I possibly heard her dog last night, but you know, when people name drop like this, now you can see why I use a different name in different areas. It's not an alias. It's so that I know who's calling my name from where and how they know me. So each name that I gave out was only for that. That's why I'll stick with an initial, or I'll say, you know, I used to be poetic about it. A rose by any other name is still a rose. Call me what you will. And it's street smart. You don't want to go out there telling people your fucking government name. That's stupid. I mean, even ZETH is not an alias. It's still in mid-process of me switching that over, and I'm debating if I'm going to have that as capital property of America, or if when I get my name change here in America fully done, if I'm going to go with a completely different name altogether at this point. Just so I know if people are fucking around at that point. So you can imagine me ripping my hair out over this. Run into that other dude. I got 10% battery left. So I gotta make this quick. Like the terms of reality, just to get a sense of privacy and security, effectively, even if it's a false sense of privacy. I mean that directly. Like this, like feeling like safe in this, just like the privacy between me and this camera, the privacy of me and my cats. That would be a family moment. That's still privacy. So to have that sense of privacy violated and shattered over and over again, and then people ask me why am I out of money? Because I keep having to replace everything. It's been literally every month but 1 month that I have to replace everything. So you can see why it only takes one fool to find where I'm camping, and suddenly it ain't getting, half the time it ain't getting stolen, it's getting destroyed. It's a flip of a coin. If they're gonna just go, oh, there's someone here, and go the other direction. Flip the coin again if they're gonna look at it a little bit longer, and then flip a coin if they're gonna dig through shit, then flip a coin if they're gonna just say, fuck this shit, like people who hate homeless people. I'm not in the homeless bracket. I'm a fucking traveler. I'm technically a mass transient. And some people don't like that either. There's some places who don't like travelers. So ask what reality I live in, Mr. Nathan William Ray, first, middle, and last, of Toledo, Ohio. On the record with your Facebook account. What was it, Jack something? You lied to the police, Nathan, and misled their investigation. It was attempted murder and a hate crime. For the second time. That made the Toledo Blades front page, kid. And I say kid because I got 10 years on you. If not more. So you can imagine my frustration and sense of, like, active security breach, warning, emergency mode, holy crap, shit hit the fan and I'm the fan and I'm got a chance to either blow it back at him or blow the fuck out of here. That's about it. And then you got people who are like, oh, just give your cats away so you can go to a homeless center. I'm like, then I'm going to be surrounded by a bunch of crazies and junkies. Using their Jesus. All around me, I'm going to have a Jewish conniption. You can tell I'm not from Toledo. You got addicts? I call them junkies. Needle jockeys. Fizzers. Fiends. Ghouls. There's 1,000 little fucking words for the problems. Crackheads. Was actually the nicest way. Because at least down in New Orleans, we got a simple understanding down there. Everyone's ahead of something, don't get ahead of yourself. You might just run into yourself and trip. Anyway, that's the kind of shit that people run into in my bracket that, you know, are more like musicians, artists, travelers, dreamers don't last too well on the road. Dreamers are a passenger usually, and I can't stand them. Because no suggestions is ever practical. It's like, dream on. We got to take care of this, then this. Then what you said is possible. Get real. Nothing against the dreamers, just saying they're practically dead weight in a survival situation. I'm sitting there like a space case staring up into nowhere, and I'll be like, are you having a seizure? That's where I would be. But anyway, I don't want to kill my phone. I got 8%, tablet. And I got to keep at least some charge on it so I can tell what time it is before my buddy gets here. And get my check and take care of the worldly business on the rest of this side, because I'm not planning on staying in this spot. Quite frankly, I'm more or less going to make an emergency drop spot where if I have to, I can drop ship back in here, dig in a little bit into the bushes and or camouflage it amongst a bunch of junk. I understand things I've seen in my time in travels. As people that come by, like, see a place like this, I'm not showing you right now, but it's a fucking mess. Looks like it was an organized mess at one point, but and there's some people who come through and just torch this kind of shit. You have no fucking clue.